Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Crocheter's Creed. Today we are going to be making more characters slash enemies, this time from the Binding of Isaac. I have 4 more for you. As you've seen from the last video, we had 4 of them. I'm going to be making more of these because they're a lot of fun. So in this tutorial, I know the names for all of these people. We are going to be making the Blue Baby, the Lazarus, Isaac, and the gurgle enemy. So the materials that you will need for this project is black yarn, a light pink yarn, a dark blue, I don't know if you can see that, a dark blue yarn, a light blue yarn, and a dark green yarn. Sorry, they're so big. Your red yarn. As you've seen from the last video, you will need your same hook, your 5.5 millimeter hook. You will need your scissors, your yarn needle, a pen or marker if you prefer. For this part of the tutorial, I know my felt's messed up, but I don't want to use a whole different strip. You will need black and white, white and black felt. I said it backwards. And you will also need your glue and your glue gun. Also, you will also need your stuffing and your... Alright, you will also need your light brown yarn. I forgot to say that at the very beginning. You will need your light brown yarn, and as you've seen in my first video, all the heads are made the exact same way. Depending on the type of yarn you are going to be using, they might come out a little bit bigger and a little bit tinier. But all the heads are made the same way. Depending on which one you want to make, if you want to make one of them or all of them, that's going to take some time. But after you have completely done all of the heads, come back and I will show you how to put on all of the features and the embellishments. So the first character that we are going to make today is Lazarus. Only because Lazarus has hair, it takes a longer time to put the hair on, and you're going to need a lot of patience doing every strand of hair. You will also be securing his hair with a little bit of glue or sewing it if you so choose. And Lazarus is pink. So I've already made my heads, of course. My head is already made. And Lazarus has this sort of crown at the top of his head. And what you want to do, don't worry about the crown right now. I'm going to show you how to add on the hair, which I've been shown by this. I'll put the link in the description of how I learned how to add hair to an amigurumi head. It is not my method. It is somebody else's. So don't worry about the crown first, but you pick the top of the head, doesn't matter where, because once you add all of the hair, you're sort of going to loop it like this and pull it back like that, so the hair follows down. You know what Lazarus looks like, so it'll have like a swoop at the top of how you secure it, so don't worry about it so far. Now, for the picture that I saw, as I've shown you here, I'm going off of this picture of the enemies to the Binding of Isaac, and the person that drew this for Lazarus, when I looked up Lazarus in the game, he has tears coming out of his eyes like Isaac, but in this one he has blood coming out of his eyes. Depends on how you want to make it. I'm going to use the blood because I've already made it, but the same process is the same thing depending on how you want to make it. But I'm going to use the blood because I think it looks cooler. But you can do tears, you would just use the light blue. So I've prepared all of these for you guys. This is his hair, and I'm going to show you how to start the hair and how to finish it. These are all strands of his hair, okay? So you want to first take a strip of yarn about that long for his hair, because you are going to fold it in half like that, okay? And you're going to want to have a base, probably a different color, a base yarn, a piece of yarn, so that you can cut them all at the exact same length. So like I said, as you can see here, I'm going to move that out of the way. What you want to do is, I'm going to show you first how to add it on, and then I'm going to show you how to continue adding it on. So what you want to do is split it in half like this. Take your head. Now I want to go into this stitch right here. Is that clear? This stitch right here. And so we are going to go into that stitch. Go into that stitch with your needle. I think I've shown this before in one of my other videos. Pull through, yarn over, and pull through like that. And that's just how you add all of the hair. And so as you can see now, at the very beginning, when you start your hair, you want to add hair into the same stitch. So meaning that I'm going to take another piece of strip of yarn, and you would take this piece of hair, take this piece of hair, and you would go back in that same stitch and put the hair in, and then pull it on the other side. But only you would do that for the crown. So do it in the same stitch so that it forms together like that. After that, you want to just go up the head. It doesn't really matter the general direction or the right stitches. It doesn't have to be all in the same, make it as straight as possible, basically. So you would just go back, all the way back behind the head. So I'm going to go next into this stitch, pull that up, put your thing through, pull it through like that, and you will have that. And you're just going to continue doing that all the way back, or as far enough where you're comfortable with the hair, because you don't want, the hair like this and then he's bald headed in the back. So do as much hair as you want. I'm going to do it probably until this point or a little farther up, just enough to cover the head to make it look real. And then we are going to secure it with glue. I'm going to secure one side for you and then show you how to secure the other. Alright, so I have I've filled in, as you can see, because once this is the right side, I filled in a little bit more hair down, not along the seam or along it, but in between, so that it could look a little fuller. As you can tell, it looks a little fuller now. And on this side, I need to add more. So meaning by that, you see the spaces in between. If you were to fold it like this and sit it down, you see the spaces in between. Continue to add hair. I added hair up until this point, because what you're going to want to do is you have the crown and you want to make the hair look as full as possible. Fold it. You could either tie it with a rubber band, or what you want it to sort of loop like that. Sort of loop in a way like this, and pin all the hair to the back like that, and make sure that the hair is sort of pushed to the front like Lazarus's hair. He has like a sort of loop crown thingy. And then you could either glue or tie the hair in the back. which is really important that you have the same sized hair, or try to make the same size. If not, you can just tie it, do multiple ties with rubber bands, or you could glue it. I've tried gluing it. I recommend just using your rubber bands. So I'm going to pin the hair back, add a little bit more hair to the sides, because you can see there's still spaces that are shown. This side looks a lot better. I'm going to add a little bit more hair. Okay, so I'm having a few technical difficulties with Lazarus. I'm trying to make him look as realistic as possible, and this hair just is not working for me. I tried the rubber band, it didn't work. So I'm going to try the glue again. Again, that's the front part. This is how it's supposed to look. You just want that curve at the front. The back really doesn't matter unless you want to focus more on the back. This is my back here. You want to focus more on the back if but most of them are just going to be facing the front. So I'm going to try to glue the hair to the back. Let's see, how am I going to push this? I need to push this up so you can see what I'm doing. See that? Oh well, I'll figure it out. But there we go. I'm going to take all of this hair, keep it like that, pull it tightly in the back, and just glue this. Oh, come on. See, I always... Oh, ooh, that's hot. Okay. Let's be careful here. And just glue it. Now take your needle and push it, or anything that you can use, and push it down. You want to get mostly the long strips. And I mean, that looks... Ooh, that was bad. Let me not sit it there. But want to make sure at least stays like that. So I mean, that was one way of doing it, but I'm more focused on the front part than the back part. So I'm gonna glue this part again for the ones right here. Let's see. So that's what you'll get after that. I'm gonna let that dry because it keeps sort of sitting, or I'm getting it stuck on the cover that I have here. Alright, so now that we have Lazarus, or his hair, which took a long time to do, again you will... Ooh, I almost messed this up. You will again want to have your felt. Again, you want to... Where are the rest of the pieces? To this. This is not... Is this him? Anyway, you are going to have the eyes, or make the eyes, which again, like the heads, you are going to make a magic circle, do 9 single crochet into the magic circle. For row 1, you are going to put 1 single crochet increase, 1 single crochet increase. You're going to repeat that, and again for row 2, you are going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and an increase, and that's how you're going to form these 2 little circles, which are the eyes for Lazarus. So after you do that, you're going to want to, again, with your tiny little felt, cut out 2 tiny little pieces of white felt, and 2 more tiny little pieces, even tinier than those, and a tiny strip, a tiny black strip of felt, and another even tinier black strip like that. So I want to make sure you guys can see that. Now, of course, as always, I'm going to show you how to put it on the face. Now it's just sewing. You're going to sew in your ends to your eyes and putting it on the face, and then I will be back to show you Lazarus. For this project, you will be seeing the final product before we get to the end, just because we're making multiple ones. So I'm going to add the eyes first, show you how to add on the things for the face, and you also have the blood going down his eyes. Now, I'm going to get to that part last because you want the face, you want the eyes on first. Alright, so I have sewn in my ends. Now, like I've shown you in the first video, you are going to take and put, make sure you can see this, put this in view. You're going to take and put on the glue first. Don't try to stick it on the piece of felt and then put it on, because it's a little safer this way, I feel. So you're going to do the same thing. Put it on the top left hand corner of the eye. If you don't want to get your fingers too close to it, you could always use something to pin it down like that. Now you have that. 2 little eyes. It's cute. Now you're going to go to the bottom right corner, put a little bit of glue there. You do that to put the thing up. And come on. Right? Like that. And then another piece, tiny bottom right hand corner, and you're going to push that down. Be very careful. Make sure it's flat. Alright, now you have those 2. Now you are going to take Lazarus. You're going to sew, or now you're going to add the glue. Be very careful. Mine's actually getting a little too hot. And you're going to simply put it on the face. So make sure you lay the eyes right, so that it looks, or you have the parts right to it. And we're going to put this around. Doesn't matter about that end because it's being glued to it. And once you have these on your face, or whatever glue that you have used for this, or whatever item you have used for this to put the glue down, of course the glue dries, so you won't have to worry about it ruining your piece of material. Now, let me unplug this because it's too hot. So now you have these eyes. Now he has these little this little frown that he has on his face, which is supposed to be his mouth. Now again, I'm going to show you how to do it. You put a tiny little line. Don't pull out the glue, push out the glue that much. Take your longest piece of black felt and simply push it down right on it. You take the shortest piece, put it right next to it. Shortest piece, pin it right next to it. And then this piece here off to the side. Now this kind of looks like he has a mustache. So again, I'm making these along with you. So if you don't like the way it looks, you can always just take it off. These are easy enough to take off the face. Now I'm going to get to the blood, or in this case, the water or tears, depending on what you wanted to choose. I used red, and they're supposed to go down his face like this, and it's just a chain of yarn. I use red yarn. Now, depending on how long you would want the tears and how big you've made your face, you want the tears to at least stretch farther down the face, make it look realistic. So depending on how long you want it, I chained 2, 4, 6, 7. I chained 7, and I did this twice and just yarned off. Now what you're going to want to do is put that on the under part of the eye, like so. And then you're going to chain about, let me see, 4, and you're going to put it on the right side of that and sort of glue them together to make it look like he's crying blood. Now I'm going to do one part for you to show you what it looks like, and I'm going to do the other part by myself. So again, because you're sewing, I mean not sewing, you could sew this in if you chose to. That's why if you left a long tail. But I'm gonna glue mine. So if you want to sew it, just sew them in. This is the chain 7, and you're also gonna want to take your chain 4, and they're just going to sit like this on the face, like he's crying blood. Or if you have red, just do it with the, blue, do it with the blue yarn. But I'm gonna let my glue gun heat up again because it was getting too hot, and now it's cooled down all the way. So I'm going to, so I've added my first one. I'm going to add the second one. Just going to want to do a line of glue down the middle of the bottom of the eye. You're just going to push it like that on top, and then add another line, actually even a shorter line, and push it closer together like so. And there you have Lazarus, which, I mean, I tried. So I think he turned out pretty well, I think. The hair isn't as good as I would like it to look, but that is Lazarus. So that is the final one for Lazarus. I'm gonna set him aside. Okay, now with Isaac, I hope you can see these are all the pieces that you will need. Again, you will have to make the head. The eyes are pretty much made the same exact way. And for the tears, I did not go off of this picture. I know what Isaac looks like. He's the first character you normally see. So for me, for the tears for him, and I will be using blue tears because that's the most notable picture of him as he's crying. Bless him. You will need to just make the eyes, which you will be using with this blue yarn. Now I chained about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you would chain 9. Now this all depends on how long or big you want the tears. Now for me, his eye is going to sit like that, and then the tears sit underneath. So depending on how big you want your eyes and how big you want your tears, depends up to you. But I chained 9 and did 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 rows, and then I slip stitched around the border with black yarn. The only reason I don't really like slip stitching is because you get this little turned thingy, or turned part, and you can still see the stitches on the other side. But for the tiers, you would chain 9, or however long you want the tiers to go. Do about 4 rows of blue yarn, chain 1 after every one of them, and then slip stitch with black yarn around the sides, not around the top parts, around the long part of the pattern. So after you do that, again, of course, you will need a little bigger circles. Again, they're not perfect, and 2 tiny pieces of felt again. And after you make the eyes, again, all of the instructions are put in the description, but these are pretty easy because you've made these. If you've made other ones, you've made these things before, just a simple rows for the eyes and the tears. So I'm going to go sew in my ends. I'm going to sew on my eyes. Alright, now I have added in my tails. I'm going to take a little bit of glue, and I'm going to start adding on. I'm going to start adding in the eyes, or the pupils. So again, how we've added them on. Right, I want to make sure the positioning is right. Again, you are going to top left corner, put your glue, a little bit of glue, and then your eye. Because this one's bigger, you can press it, and then you're going to take your other big piece, top left hand corner of the circle, do that, and then press it down like so. So you have that. Then the bottom right hand corner, you are going to add your tinier pieces of glue. I used the glue to stick the glue. Get those pieces off so it looks like that, and then you are going to do that the same with your other eye, and add the tiny bottom part. Mine are in a triangle, but it doesn't really matter how. You just need a tiny little speck of felt there to make it look more realistic, and that's how it will go on the face. Now I'm going to start adding on my eyes. My glue gun is hot enough for me to do that. Isaac is fairly easy. It's just his eyes and then the tears. And you want to make sure you position it in the proper way. Alright, we have that. My glue. Where'd my other glue go? Hopefully it does it. There we are. Okay. Be careful. Open that up. And let me not burn myself. Make sure you position it in the proper way. We'll put this one right here. Make sure I tuck that down. I'm going to push this down with the glue and glue around the sides and push it farther in. Alright, now you have the eyes. It's really cute. Now, while your glue gun is still hot, because I know it's getting a little hot, you might have to unplug it. Mine gets hot really quickly. I didn't sew in all the ends, one because glue was going to go over top of it, so I'm just going to sew over those strands, but again, be very careful. I've burned myself many times with this. So now, you're going to position the, like so, position it in a way to where it sits like that. I'm gonna get this because, again, like I said, the curve, the black, it curves outward. And then the other side, we're going to want to glue over top of those, or if you sewed them in, glue this down. And attach it to your head or eyes, part of your eyes. Alright, and then pull that down, make it look slick. Glue the bottom to this. Push that down, and if you want, which I'm going to do just for more details, I'm going to take a tiny piece of felt, has sort of a frown in this picture. No, I'm not going to take the felt, I'm going to take a tiny piece of yarn and do a tiny little frown. Okay, so take a tiny piece of yarn, glue it in the form of a frown, and then try to stick in or on your frown. Ooh, 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 ow, ow. That's why I said be careful. Your frown, like so. And get your pieces off, and there is Isaac. He's really cute. So, we're going, the ones we have left is the gurgle and the blue baby, and after that we will be done with this project. So I'm going to start with the gurgle now. The blue baby will be last. Alright, now we are going to start with the gurgle now. Now the gurgle, these are all the things that you will need. Black felt, white felt, and green for the ears. And this is what the gurgle, or I'm assuming what I believe this is what the gurgle is for. You're not going to be making a little donkey, but we are going to be making this face. Now I've already showed you, already put on the eyes, and the eyes, I don't know if you can see, but you have these in the back because you would go in from the back and make an X. Make an X first, sewing in from the back, and then go from the side and sort of make like a mini star, if that makes sense. So you would make an X first and then go across, same coming in from the back, and make a line through. And that's just how you make the eyes. The eyes are really, really simple with that. And then you have your tails, which you would just cut off and then push farther back into the head. So what I'm going to do is this face, or the gurgle, is pretty easy to make. Again, you will need black felt and white felt, and your dark green yarn this time. And for the ears, I'm going to show you how to make the ears. For the ears, they were kind of similar to how you made the one with the bomb. I'm going to use light blue yarn so you can see the stitches better. But for the ears, again, you are going to make a magic circle. You are going to put 9 single crochet into that magic circle, and for row 1 you are going to chain 1, single crochet, increase, single crochet and increase until you get about halfway to the end, meaning you're not going to single crochet all around. Get about halfway around the circle, and then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch and yarn off. And once you do that, you have your ears. Now the ears you can either glue or sew on. With everything you want to leave a long tail, so you give yourself the option. And now for the mouth, what you're going to want to do is just cut out this, where's my felt? You're going to take your felt and cut out basically a gaping mouth. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but as you can see, the outline that I showed, again, all of this was eyeballed. A gaping mouth similar to like that. It's a little curved at the top, a little triangular at the top, but just draw around, a little curve at the top, around, a little circles at the bottom. It really is just a gaping mouth. Draw it however you want. It just needs to be big enough to fit on the face. So he has these teeth. Now the teeth, for his picture, he has 6 teeth sticking out. So you would just cut out tiny, where's my white felt? See these jagged ends on the side? You would just take your scissors and cut, you know, one here at the bottom, another out. It flew over here. Simple, and that's how you would get the teeth. So once you have the teeth, you cut out 6 of these. Make sure that the pointed top, or if you want to make a pointed top, is at the top, like so. So when you add them to the face or the mouth, the teeth are at the top, like so. You just have to cut out about 6 of them. And after that, of course, what do? You're going to glue them on, and then glue this to the face. After you glue on the face, you glue on or sew on the ears, and that's really pretty much it for the gurgle. And the last one we will have is the... Now we have the gurgle, which, I mean, again, it looks, I guess, it's pretty okay. Now this last one, which is the blue baby, which a lot of people like the blue baby. I am not extremely confident in how the blue baby will turn out, only because I have previously made a video about the blue baby and made a full amigurumi of the blue baby. And because he is blue, and because you have to have the black little embellishments or stuff on him, you can't really see his features, which I do not really like. Because you can see, if you sit him all the way over here, you can't really tell that he has anything on his face until you get really close up, and then you see the X's on his face, which is how you add the other parts to it. Now, again, I don't really like the way, simply because you're using a dark color over top of a darker, even darker color. You can't really see it. But this is something that, again, and I do not like the mouth. I just don't really like it. If you like it, I mean, I could try or show you how to make it, but you cut out 2 white strips, again, sort of like teeth, 2 white little strips that look like these, and you can either glue them together on his face like this, like he's laughing. Or you can get a piece of black felt, an even bigger piece of black felt in the face of a smile, and put it on and try to make it look. Either way, I'm not really, you see how it looks? It doesn't really look that well. I'm gonna do the 2 pieces of the teeth instead and just glue it on. But I have made the blue baby a few times and I'm not satisfied with how it looks. But I know the blue baby, a lot of people like the blue baby, so I'm just going to use these 2 pieces. Again, color out the edges. 2 pieces as if one top tooth, like grinning, and the other bottom tooth, and you would glue them in like that, and then right on the face. And that's basically all it is for the blue baby. Again, it's just X eyes and teeth. For most pictures it is teeth that I have seen. So I'm going to put that on the blue baby, and then I will be back to show you all of the people that you have made through this video. Okay, so I am not satisfied with that looking. My glue was not hot enough to where the things would stick, so what I'm going to do is use the black piece of felt that I had in the shape of a smile, and I'm going to go off of this picture here, and I am just going to glue this on and then add a few strips. As you see, this is a few little lines across, a few strips of yarn here and there to make it look a bit better. But again, because it's black, you can't really see anything. But that's how I'm going to make the blue baby. Alright, now these are all the ones that you have made today. You have Isaac, the blue baby, which you can't really see, blue baby, Lazarus, and the gurgle. These are all the ones that you have made today. I don't know which ones I'm going to make next, but I will be continuing characters and enemies from the Binding of Isaac. So I thank you for visiting my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye.